Hey everybody, welcome to Art, Science, Nature, Knit. I'm Natalie and I'm your co-host today. This episode is brought to you by Fremont Cottonwood and the Animas River. You'll see more of them later, but for right now, it's just us chickens. And I apologize if you can hear some traffic noise. We're still in the river corridor. And today is Wednesday, November 28th, I think. And I'm Natalie, also known as Cool Water Hot Sun on Yahoo and Ravelry and Plurk, of course. And great to be with you today. It's kind of, I was very excited about this being my first episode after I went live with you guys, and the response has been awesome. Thank you guys so much. I'm so happy you're enjoying this. It's really been fun, and I have a lot more for you guys. Check this one out. But it is bittersweet. It's very sweet for me to have such a warm welcome from all y'all, and it's also very sad. Most of you probably already know, but if you don't, I'll just let you know that we lost a wonderful video podcaster and an amazing member of the knitting community this week. Carrie, Knit Pearl Girl, and we're all very sad. It's very tragic. It is extremely tragic. My heart goes out to everyone who knew her personally. I did not, but I sympathize. I mean, what a tragic young person. It was a little, I have to say, there's a strange magic in this for me though, because yesterday I had read her blog in the past, and it was always super useful, but then just yesterday I wrapped for the first time, because it was Wrap Tuesday, Random Active Pattern. I saw somebody else's podcast who said, hey, we are doing ugly sweaters. And this is pretty ugly. It kind of hurts to wear it, actually. Wait, you like it? Really? Sorry. I had decided I was going to play all the podcast games, and I watched her podcast for the first time ever. And already was amazed. She was so polished, she was so sweet, she was totally interesting and informative. I was looking forward to watching every single episode of hers. I'd only watched the most recent one, and already was really impressed. And it wasn't until I did a wrap that I found out what was going on. I hadn't checked Plurk yet, and so I was kind of mesmerized how I had sort of just suddenly got wrapped up in her world right when she was passing on. But the community is rallying, and we'll take good care of each other and the family as much as we can. And I didn't even know that wrapping or the sweater thing was her idea yet. I hadn't even put it together. She was just an amazing presence that permeated the podcast world, and I think will continue to do so, and we will remember her. And again, my heart really goes out to all of those who knew her, and you know, my intent of today was to be really excited, and which I am, about everyone who's joining in and enjoying this podcast and saying wonderful things, and even just watching and all the other podcasters who are giving me shout outs. I'm so grateful, and I am going to go off on that a little bit in a minute, but it's not going to be a long episode. I was only intending today to do the giveaway, which I'm sure you guys are all excited about. I am. And I just have a couple of knitting things to talk about, just a little bit of progress. And then at the end, there's 10 minutes. You hear that? The wind in the leaves. I've got a 10-minute clip for you about the river ecosystem of the cottonwood ecology down in this low gradient meandering river system. So stay tuned for that. But in the meantime, since there's no way I could possibly ever say thank you and reach out to everyone as much as I want to, and I am just so grateful for the podcasts out there that, for fear of leaving anybody out, I just wrapped everybody into one big giant podcaster wrap. So here it is. Check it out. Yo, girls and boys, you gotta knit more, girls. Knit, purl, knit, girl. You gotta get to knitting on the fly. High fiber, dramatic diet knits. Sock bunny, you so funny. Anatomy of knit will keep you fit as the fiberista files. Just run it. You best be sitting in the knitting den with fiber nymph and hippie penguin. What you swatching out for? Zombies? Stockening mommies need yarn. Wolf farms, acres of gnomes and knittables. Dragonfly soars over the play yard. This yarn ain't overs. This fat alpaca squirrel speaks to you. We getting multi-craftual, y'all. If you can't craft it, stash it. Holly knits, Moony knits, Aunt Jan knits, round the twist. Rain lover knits, student knits, Joni knits, knit lit chicks, there's two of them. Knitting in public, charming like he loves it. Yoda fat kitty double knit does it, his and hers. Knit nerd, knitting blooms, muffin Megan me, mine and yours. We be traveling in our sassy pants socks, caffeinated knitter, knitting rocks, nattering on about the knitting, knitting, knitting. Come on, y'all, in the subway knits from Fiverland to Hollywood knitter. Knitting, knitting, knitting. Exchange student heading down the pipeline knitting. 3, 6, 5, I ain't quitting. This ain't no knitting game. Oh wait, yes it is. You can't single-handed knit. Oh wait, yes you can. That knits me happy. It's got me positively knitting skein after skein in circles. On a side notable, needlework asks stitches please for just one more row of sticks and stones. Knit, one, knit, art, knit, spin, science, heart, knit, farm, nature, too. Never not knitting, here's to you. Yeah. Okay. Feel it. Putting the power of the cottonwoods in that. So, I hope you liked it. So hello, welcome. All of you, anyone, all you people, everybody, not just podcasters, everyone alike. And if I didn't mention you, I'm sorry, it's impossible. I wish I could keep up. If I didn't mention you, maybe it's because I don't know about you. I want to know about you. Tell me about you. And, you know, if I don't know about you yet, let me know. It's a goal of mine to watch every podcast or listen to every podcast, whether I like them or not. You know, and if I did know about you and I didn't mention you, you just know that you're in my heart, and maybe my head doesn't always remember. You know, and I do have favorites that I love to watch, and I will never just go off and give you a list because I come and go. My tastes change. I will always even go back and watch one that, you know, didn't catch my attention so much in the first place. So let me know who you are if you're out there podcasting. And that wasn't even blogs, written blogs, which I also love. So hi, it's just super great to see everyone who came by and visited the Ravelry group that we have for Art, Science, Nature Knit, and it's just fun to meet everybody. And we got a bunch of Canadians. Hi, Canadians! You're my people. And lots of artists, and lots of podcasters, and lots of sciencey, naturey people, and it's just super fun to see everybody and check out their pages and their groups and what they're watching and what they're listening to and what their blogs are. It's like another huge leap into more information and more podcasts that I didn't even know about and more blogs. And so thank you everyone who's chiming in. And I do want to give a few special hellos and welcomes, and I don't plan to normally do this as part of my regular show. I like it when people do. I really do. It's very soothing somehow. I like to just listen to people's stories, especially when people like Joanna from Knit Spin Farm groups people and ties everybody together, and Leslie from the Knitting Game always does birthdays. I mean, but I'm not planning on normally doing that. I would like to reach out to every one of you in Cyberland or in Writing Land, and I know that's not necessarily a goal, achievable goal. I don't expect every other podcaster and person out there to contact me personally, but I want to. And so if I haven't gotten to you, I'll get to you. And if I don't get to you, know that I am checking you out. I will look at your page and see where you're from. And yeah, especially, you know, if you're commenting, I will talk back. So thank you for everyone who joined and commented, but especially to people who have introduced themselves on the welcome thread. We have Empty Knitster Jude. Hi! She's a science teacher in Billings, Montana, which is north of me, and so she's into that, and she's a blogger, and she has some really, really neat quotes on her Ravelry page. So, and some of them are from you podcasters, so she's watching, she's listening, and she also has a fun blog called, I love this name, Empty Knitster's Never Ending Knitting .blogspot. So drop by, check out Jude. She's fun, she's interesting. And also hello to Luby01 Helen from Scotland near Glasgow. You think my scenery is good? Oh my god, women, I'd love to see your scenery. I'd really like to get to Scotland one day. So thanks for saying hi. And she also has a blogger blog called Sprightly Knittered at blogspot.com, and she has 2 knit nights every month, plus one in Glasgow. Guess, yeah, we have once a week, maybe? But her blog is another case in point. She has zillions of new things, new podcasts and new blogs. Maybe they're more from Scotland, but her blog's worth checking out because they're things I've never heard of, and they must be more British Isles related, so that's cool. And then K-Star, Kim from New York City. Thanks for saying hi. She's awesome. If you guys have not discovered Craft Stash, check her out. She's crayoli.com/craftstash. And of course I'll link to everybody, but I love her podcast. She's so fun and inspirational and spirited, and she's outdoorsy. She's often outside, and no craft is safe around this girl. She will get it, she will do it. She was really into showing people her process of learning how to drop spindle, and she has a really, really awesome drop spindle, how to make a drop spindle out of a dowel and CDs, just old compact discs. I'm telling you, this girl you will learn a lot from. So check her out if you already have it. And if you want to buy a goat or a cow or a sheep for people in third world countries, the Heifer Association, something like that. She wants to go in on it with some folks, so let's buy animals for people. A free spirit, Ginger. Hi. She's a horticulturalist and a microbiologist in Chester, Mississippi. Awesome. Man, the South, such huge diversity of trees, and I hope you're in a great place for that. And she has been making some awesome sciencey comments about the fall colors and other things. So thank you, Ginger, and hi, and keep it coming. And there's just no way I could possibly fit everything into everything I'm trying to say. I'd go bonkers. I wouldn't do it. So thank you. Thank you all for adding everything you know about everything. We need to know it. And thanks to everyone who commented. I did start a thread about how you knit, and I want to know how you knit. And thanks to Knit and Wolf, Dawn of the Wolf Farms podcast, and Luby01, Helen again, and Empty Nester Jude, and a Free Spirit Ginger, and then also especially from Stitching Out Loud Kat in Houston, Texas. She posted a video of this Peruvian method, which is basically flicking with the yarn held in the right hand, but you hold the needle like a pencil, and it's basically flicking but with the yarn over the middle finger. So that's fun to check out if you want to go watch a video. I might post some more videos there, but yeah, check it out. And thanks for everybody who tried to help me out with iTunes. I'm not in iTunes yet, but I'm working on it. So I think that's it for all the highs to everybody who said things and made comments. And again, if I didn't mention you, I'm checking you out, and I love seeing where you're from. And you know, that is a big reason why I'm doing it, to connect to others and share. So it's because you guys are awesome and doing this for you. So thanks. I'm glad you're enjoying it. So now to the fun part, the giveaway. Woohoo! So this was really great. I was doing first 50, which I know is really little. I could have gone to 100, but we've gotten to 63 now, and I actually have decided to do a drawing with the first 52 because it grew really quickly to 52, thanks to all y'all spreading it around. And and then it had this lull where nothing really happened for a few days, and then it jumped 10 more people right after that. So I went ahead and I included the first 52, which is, it's okay, my podcast, I can do that, right? So, with no further ado, this one's for you. We have in this lovely little envelope, I'm gonna let you look at another cottonwood leaf right now. I bless this with cottonwood leaf so that you may win. I'm so excited. This is fun. This is really fun. I know why people do this now, because it's pretty exciting. I put everybody's name in the spreadsheet and printed it out and cut it up, each little slip. There's 52 names in here, and shuffled, and here you all are. Shuffle. I'm gonna pick one. Who will it be? It will be... Who is it? Number 24. Angie Ship. Andrea, congratulations. You have won 1 credit from audible.com. So all you have to do is go to audible.com and browse around and figure out what you want that you can get for 1 credit, and then tell me and I can gift it to you from my account. So good job, Angie Ship. A-N-G-E-I-S-H-I-P. Andrea. So I'll look you up when I get home, and hopefully you'll look me up too. Send me a message. And I will put this in a safe place so that I don't forget who you are. I'm going to put you in the boot, but I won't forget you. I won't forget you. Angie Ship. And it occurs to me that there was actually only 51 people in there because I took myself out. So, good job, y'all. Way to go. Man. And so then the second drawing is for up to $10 of giftable patterns on Ravelry. And this was a super fun one because I asked people to tell others, and if the other wrote in the thread who told them, then both people get entered. So there were 17 people who commented and told where they came from. So that makes 34 entered. And some people actually said that they just found it at random or through a search of podcasts. So I guess I'm entering them twice. I wasn't sure how to deal with that. I know it's not entirely fair, but I'm sorry, but I just wanted to let you know what was going on. But so if I draw their names, I'm gonna have to give it to them, I guess. So here we go. Same idea. And I actually, well, did the same thing, cut them up, put them all in here. And who have we? Number 35, which is actually number 1. This is crazy. Do you know why this is crazy? Because I have a list at home and everybody is numbered. And I don't have that list with me. So I'm not exactly sure who this is. Oh my god, that's so anticlimactic. I will write your name here. Congratulations. You are a winner. And I will also write here who it is you said that told you about the podcast. But, good job! Congratulations! I don't know who you are. Number 1, who was the first person on that list? I'm sorry. God, odds are that it was probably somebody who was told by either Polly81 of the Polly Knits podcast or by Nicole Halaz Knitter from the Positively Knitting podcast, or somebody Dawn told from the Wolf Farms podcast. Maybe it was because they were like the big referral people. So I wanted to give a special thanks to them. Polly, these are my California people. These are folks who encouraged me way back when, like a year ago, when I was thinking about starting a podcast, and then more recently when I actually did start the podcast, were really encouraging and helpful. And thank you guys. I'm so grateful, and you should be checking out their podcasts too. They're all super fun. Thanks to all 3 of you for the really sweet shout outs on your podcast. Polly, you're so sweet. Polly's probably the sweetest person in Podcastville right now. Yeah, he's my boy from the hometown, and I love his knitting too. So thanks, Polly, and you should check out his podcast. It's really fun. Positively Knitting. That's right. I like getting in people's lives too. Thank you for saying hi, and thank you to Dawn, who was also digging the California connection. So, also for people who also mentioned my podcast, Julie from the Play Yard Yarn No Birds, y'all. Her podcast is really fun too. Also video. It's a fun cast. I call her podcast Funcast because, again, she's another multi-talented crafter. I like that she likes to felt. So she's super fun, and I think she's fun to check out. Yeah, she's really whimsical. It's really great to see what she's doing. Spinning, felting, knitting, crocheting, you name it. you never know what you're gonna get. That's what I like about her show. So thanks again, Julie. And again, Kim, K-Star, thanks. She had some really insightful comments. I appreciate that. You guys are awesome. So, what else? I wish I knew it was who won. That was so ridiculous. Do I really not have a list of it? I didn't print it. It's just on my computer. So that's the giveaway. So we'll move on to just a little bit of knitting. What is going on? What is in the study phase? No grand conclusions. I saw this. I wanted to show this. I didn't show it very well on the last podcast, but this... Oh, I didn't bring the finished one. Well, you'll see them next time because I'm about to throw this and a pot holder into the wash to felt it. And you can see it's a very strange thing. It was knitted flat. This is the seam, this is the fold, and it's seamed up the back, and then it's seamed from here down. It's very square, but it gets shaped once and then it's longer, it's taller than it is wide. And I followed the Drops 104-4 pattern. Free pattern on Ravelry, and this is Cascade Magnum, very chunky, and then you pick up around here, around the cuff, and I actually doubled the stitches on the bottom in a certain area, in kind of a, when it was flat, it was kind of a big oval area, and on this one, instead of the first, unlike the first one, I brought the doubling back from the toe and the heel a little because it was hindering it from being shaped after, while it was felting, because it was just a little too thick. So, just wanted to show you that. It's the progress that's been made. There's still, Angie Ship's still in there, yay. That's super fun. And I realized that my last podcast, I said I found a new store, but I forgot to tell you all the fun stuff I got there. Of course, I went on my alpaca rampage, and I'll show you the progress with that jacket. But I also forgot to show you this. I'm addicted to linen. I got more linen. God, that looks great with the cottonwoods. There's 3 colors here. This dark brown, this sort of coppery color, and then this nice tan. And so again, mysteries of the unknown, working hypotheses of the future. I don't know what they're going to be, but definitely some kind of little tank. I have a few patterns in mind. And of course I got tons of alpaca. Not only did I get the alpaca that I got to work on the jacket, but I got even more. I got the jacket's made out of only 100% pure baby alpaca, but then the other stuff I got I actually didn't bring. You'll see it someday when I start making a sweater or something, but several skeins of purples and blues, imagine that, of wool alpaca blends, probably Barocco, vintage, not Barocco, Ultra Alpaca, that's probably what it was. So, and then of course you guys have seen these colors that I'm currently working in, the burgundy, blue, and purple. Really nice, making this really beautiful textured fabric out of it, which I am just, it is so soft. It is going to be so warm. It's very thin. I'm doing it on size 2, my high sharps, and interchangeable circulars. Whoa, everything just tumbled out. Mostly, I've linked to it. It's mostly Cascade Ultra Alpaca with some Shibui in there, and then so I said it's made in 4 panels. It's made in 2 front panels, 2 back panels, and I'm throwing in a little bit of shaping. So I'm just, I don't know if you can see that. You can't really see that, but it's just, you know, decrease, increase. So I'm kind of combining 2 patterns out of this Knitter's Pride Knitter's Magazine, from the people who bring you stitches, east, west, north, south. And so each panel is supposed to be a combination of different colors, and so I wanted more colors. I'm going to do one with orange and purple, and so then I also went and got some green and yellow and some sort of other green. Those are pretty good, but what is even more interesting is the crazy, insane amounts of swatching that went on. No, I don't mind if a few cottonwood leaves end up in my bag. I don't mind at all. So, ready for this? This might be as crazy and garish as my Christmas sweater. Let's see. So, think I showed you my first swatch. So, I really wanted to figure out what my panels were going to be, because there's a little special stitch that you do for the hidden zipper on the front one. So I needed to know which colors were going to go for which panel, but this is definitely going to be one of the front panels, and that is the blue, the burgundy, and the orange. And I believe, you know, I haven't 100% decided what I want to pair that with, but I think I have decided what I want to pair the back with. And I want to pair the back with blue and purple and yellow. So I do not know how that's gonna show up, but it'll definitely be better when I have bigger pieces, of course. And then, again, like I said, I'm not 100% sure exactly what I want to do with the pairing of the front, but I'm pretty sure I want to carry only one of the colors over. So this is, since this is burgundy and orange and purple, I want it to be blue, and only burgundy is going to be repeated. Burgundy, blue, and this is crazy, hang on. Is this it? So that, gosh, this is hard. I have them all strung together because I don't know how much yarn I'm gonna have. I might not have enough yarn, so I wanted to preserve my lengths, but it's making it insane. But here's one of them. This has blue. This has blue and burgundy and the yellow, which I think the yellow does not go very well with the orange. So I'm thinking where is it? This is pretty garish, so I probably won't use it, but I had that bright lime. But I like it, again, blue and burgundy and a greeny color. Probably not gonna happen. So I'm gonna go look for another deeper green. I'm thinking a deeper green. And then I might just go hog wild on the sleeves. I might do something crazy like that on the sleeve. Something crazy like that. I don't know. The swatch monster came to town and chewed me up and spit me out and said, you are going to sit for an entire day and you're going to swatch until you figure this out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 little Christmas tree decorations or something. So, green, pink, blues and purples are definitely the main theme. Thinking green. I'm gonna go to the store. I got all this stuff kind of cheap on sale online, not knowing exactly what the greens were gonna look like, but I'm gonna go look for a deeper green. So that's pretty much it for the knitting. And I got a bunch of patterns. So we're gonna move on. I was mentioning Julie of the Play Yard. I entered a KAL, like a Get Your Butt in Gear and Finish Your Old Projects KAL, and I won. I never win. I think that's why I like giving stuff away, because I never win. So I won. Thank you, Julie. And got a couple patterns. I got Oak Grove Fingerless Mitts by Alana Dekos, and they have a beautiful oak leaf pattern that's going on the back. And like I said, I'm an alpaca addict, so I have a bunch of alpaca waiting for gloves for me. So that's what that's going to be. And I got the For Good hat by Megan Williams. Thank you, Megan. It's a beautiful pattern. Maybe a hat to match the gloves for my wonderful man. And then of course there are knit-alongs for Carrie. So I got 2 of her patterns. I got the Walnut Grove, which is a beautiful lace shawl for fingering weight, and I'm gonna do the knit-along, the crosswords at the coffee house, on a link to her podcast Ravelry page is still active, and there's a cal going along in there. And you can, if you need some worsted weight or Aran weight yarn, Unwind Yarn Company is dyeing up a bunch for this cal, and you can get 15% off. So go there for the details, but or you can go to Unwind Yarn Company and check out the Voyage Aran, and it's a BFL. So what else? Yeah. Those are all my new acquisitions. The mysteries of the unknown and the future hypotheses. So that's what's to come, and I decided that is officially my crazy. I finally got one. I never do knit-alongs. I never keep up. I never do anything on a schedule. I never do anything on time. Which actually isn't true, but it feels that way. So I never want to start something if I don't think I'm going to finish it on time. But now, officially, I'm doing 5 knit-alongs. So I'm doing the In Memory of Carrie, KAL, and I don't think there's a deadline on that. And I'm also going to try to make a snowflake, which her family wants to get by December 10th, and I'll link to the patterns that she was actually using. She was making them. And so I'm going to try to do that. That's crochet. And then I'm going to try to do What You Swatchin' is doing a beatnik sweater knit-along until from Thanksgiving to January 10th, and I think it's going to be fun. There's actually VKNs, and I have a stash for that, so stay tuned for more on that. And Polly is doing a Let's Hear It for the Guys knit-along until right before Christmas, until his podcast right before Christmas. So my guys' gloves are going in there, which is great. I like knitting for guys. knit-worthy guys, and the For Good hat. I think I might be able to squeeze that in, and that's going till December 31st with the Stockinette Zombies. And of course, the Stockinette Zombies, crazy girls started all this, crazy KAL. So, this actually is turning out to be a lovely long episode, longer than I thought, but thanks for hanging in there. It was less knitting than I thought, but again, it's my podcaster tribute. Love you guys, and enjoy the beautiful ecosystem we have here. Hopefully you'll get a view from above. I'll take a shot of that. It's taken from the hill right up there, and that's where you're going. And after the video, the informational video of the Giving River, we'll go out with some really cool shots of cottonwood leaves. They're some of the most beautiful leaves I've ever seen. I hope you like them too. So, see you next time, and hope you're getting out in the field. Bye. Hey there! We are coming to you from the Animas Valley, just upstream of the town of Durango. And this is a pretty big river system. I can't tell you how long it is, I don't know, but it has a very long watershed and a lot of watershed area, so it's carrying some good flow. I think it probably gets up to about 8,000 CFS in the wintertime, and or in the spring. When the spring, it doesn't flow as much in the winter. It's actually pretty low. But there's Durango, and you can see downstream the straighter river course is the blue line in the middle there, and it looks very, very different from this more valley system upstream. And this valley system upstream is known as a low gradient meander system. And it's called a meander system because the channel is moving, migrating both laterally. So if you're a water particle and you're in the river and you're flowing downstream, the river, the water is moving in and around the silt. The fine particles are able to be pushed around by the strong flows in the spring when the snow melt is happening. Unlike downstream where it's all rocks and boulders, they'll move, but they won't move side to side. They'll move downstream, but here in this low gradient channel system, the particles move side to side. And so that's how you get meanders. And you can see one that's kind of in the right middle ground, and you can see another one that's a little further upstream. Upstream is to the left in this picture. And so there's action. The water can push silt particles left and right as you go downstream, but there's also, most of the action is actually happening upstream and downstream. So what you can see happening here, and we'll zoom in on one of these oxbows, or one of the meanders. So what you can see is on the downstream end, here you can see it a little better on this one. If you can look at this, on the downstream end, you can see where there's a dark shadow and kind of a little cliff. It looks vertical. That's the erosional edge, because the water is pushing downstream, and there's all kinds of complicated physics going on, but the water's pushing downstream and carving off the sediment from, if you were sitting on the river and you were looking downstream, the left bank is on your left and the right bank is on your right. So if you look at the downstream end of this meander, you can see that little cliff, and that's eroding and carving off. And that sediment in one winter will carve off and pick it all up and whoosh, take it downstream, where it'll then deposit on the... So what you get is you get deposition on the upstream end of the oxbow. So where you can see all those cottonwoods on the left, that's a depositional zone. So basically the water comes flowing down the river, it carves off on the upstream side of the peninsula and swoops it around, and then deposits it on the downstream side of the peninsula. And this is continually happening, and it takes a certain amount of time for a river system to see those two little humps that are the land, those little peninsulas. Those are actually migrating downstream. If you were to take a picture of this from the air once a year, maybe it takes, depending on how active the system is, anywhere between 15, 35, 50 years for one of those to move all the way downstream and replace itself. And so these bars that you see now would be destroyed and new ones would be created. And the interesting little thing about this is that the cottonwoods have adapted their lifestyles exactly to fit this pattern. They are water-loving trees, and they like places where there's a lot of water at the surface for their roots to have access to. And so their life cycle is about as long as it takes for one of these oxbows to be destroyed and recreated. And what happens is they put out a ton of seeds every year. They're called cottonwoods because their seeds are made of fluff. They have a lot of, they're wind-borne seeds, and they get blown around. And when they settle on one of these peninsulas, they colonize really easily. They're adapted to sprout really easily in the fresh. So as a river system is coming, they plant themselves easily in freshly deposited silts, which is what is being deposited when every year all of the sedimentation, all of the silt is deposited on the downstream ends of these peninsulas. So the cottonwoods will run in and colonize and sprout and happily live there. And by the time 20, 30, 50 years later, the upstream end of the peninsula has carved all the way down and carves away the cottonwood. That cottonwood has reached maturity and is done producing seeds anyways, and just has shed itself downstream. So it's a beautiful little dance of nature. And another cool thing that you can see in these pictures is that you can see, so the lateral migration left and right, sometimes the carving, like if we go back to the little peninsula with the house on it, it's kind of a head and a neck. The head is the part that's sort of pointing up in this picture, and then the neck is the part that's more close to us in the foreground. So sometimes the carving on the downstream end just carves straight through, and then the river abandons the rounded part and then carves a straighter channel for a little while and leaves that little oxbow behind. So you can see behind this, where the major river channel is, there's all these little lakes that look like little arcs. Well, that used to be where the river was flowing, and those are called oxbow lakes. And the river, as it changed its course, left these lower depressions behind where the river once was flowing, and they fill up and make lakes. So that's pretty cool. And the last thing I'll say is on channels where there are dams upstream and the flow has been reduced and the sediment has been reduced, this stops happening. And so there aren't as many, it's not as dynamic of a system, and the oxbows don't change. And that allows invasive species like tamarisk and saltbush to come in and colonize, leaving no bare areas anymore. So there are fewer bare areas being created because there's not enough flow to chew away at the peninsulas. And then whatever bare land that is created by whatever silt is being deposited annually is covered and colonized by other species. And so the cottonwoods have trouble with that. And that's my little plug for wild and free rivers. but I think that the other red vegetation that you see in there is willow. And there is some alteration to this channel. There's a lot of agricultural land out there, and so this valley in history, when the first white humans came along, was probably very huge cottonwoods. Or, you know, the whole staggering of different age cottonwoods. You would see that regime nicely. But there is a very nice stand of them right there, and all the leaves are gone. And I don't know what Native Americans must have done some alteration of the landscape, but basically there's no riprap, there's no human intervention to try to stop this free flowing from happening. And so this is actually a really great example of a pretty nicely freely flowing meandering system. And I'll let you look at downstream one more time just so you can see the difference with the straighter channel downstream, where it gets steeper and rockier. So, I hope you enjoyed. Talk to you later.